All right, fam, we have a big video today. I'm excited to jump into it. We have some crazy news coming out directly from Trump and who's pointing behind the scenes to obviously take over the crypto space as the US becomes a key and leading factor in the gain of Bitcoin. We're also going to discuss 4 coins that will absolutely make a killing in 2025. So you're definitely not going to want to miss this one. But let's jump into the first clip here before we dive into the rest of it here on a Fox Business News clip.
Now Donald Trump has named Bo Hines to be the executive director of his administration's Crypto Council. Trump says Hines will work alongside David Sachs to, quote, foster innovation and growth in the digital asset space, while ensuring industry leaders have the resources they need to succeed. Hines is a former college football player and 2022 Republican congressional candidate. He has previously received financial backing from several pro-crypto political action committees. His appointment is seen as part of Donald Trump's broader push to make the U.S. a global leader in digital assets.
Guys, this is huge. Bo Hines, obviously being the leader of the council, which is a massive shake in the market. This is breaking, and especially when it comes to crypto, we know that the UAE owns $40 billion of Bitcoin. So we aren't too late on the cycle here. There's only 21 million Bitcoin out there, so it's important that you understand that there is more upside than downside when it comes to owning Bitcoin. And we're going to discuss some other clips coming up here soon. But what does this mean for you? So the appointing of a executive director is huge because your dollar is directly backed, or your dollar can be obviously affected in the future, which we aren't seeing right now. But having that decentralized space for obviously owning crypto would be a massive investment. In the next year, we could see price earnings targets of double, 2.5 times, roughly 250K just for one Bitcoin, which if you put in money now, that's 2.5x your money. And so really understanding the ways on getting to that next level. And this is the first phase. We are lucky to hear this news and get that to you. Also, the preparation for the Bitcoin US reserve, which is massive. I don't see that as happening right away in terms of building that up right away, but having the set amount of Bitcoins out there and having that reserve, like we're going to dive into, could drastically affect your future lives. So let's jump into this clip on Fox News about what are the thoughts and where Bitcoin is headed in the future.
Well, Donald Trump is reportedly pitching a massive $280 trillion price Bitcoin reserve, basically to save the dollar. What do you make of that, and what will it do to the price of Bitcoin?
Well, I think there's 2 different things here. The first question is the dollar in trouble? And the answer to that question so far is no. We have a national debt problem. And so there could be issues with the dollar in the future if we have to devalue it in order to monetize that debt. But currently, the dollar continues to be very popular globally. People want dollars. We see that with stablecoin usage and other things on an international basis. The second question, and a very important question, is should the United States buy Bitcoin for its strategic Bitcoin reserve? I think the question to that, or excuse me, I think the answer to that is yes. Other countries are already buying up Bitcoin. There's only 21 million that will ever be available. And so the downside risk to going ahead and buying tens of billions of dollars of Bitcoin is drastically outweighed by the potential upside. If the United States wants to be a leader on this front, then it needs to own Bitcoin on its balance sheet. If Bitcoin is good for individuals and companies, it'll be great for the United States as well.
So, of course, the big question is what comes.
So 100%, just like he said, really bringing it up, there is less downside potential over the next year to 2 years, especially over the next 10 years, than there is upside potential. So when you have less of the downside, it becomes almost a no-brainer if there's massive nations purchasing Bitcoin, owning it long-term to either peg their dollar or just secure a potential future asset. And that is currently a massive asset, but a decentralized way to obviously exchange funds. And we're going to dive into that, but there are companies like SpaceX who are currently using different stable coins to collect funds instead of using the traditional way of collecting funds, having the exchange rate. They just collect it through a stable coin and then deposit it in. So that's how there's different sources of revenue being collected. So they are being utilized by companies that you know right now. And that's why looking into, should you purchase into Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, Ethereum right now, or should you wait on these 4 coins? And here's a good little video to help you determine that.
I guess the question is, can Bitcoin continue to outperform in 2025?
I definitely think that Bitcoin can continue to outperform. If you look at a bunch of the tailwinds, you've got the ETFs that now are bringing in hundreds of billions of dollars over time. You also see that there are nation states that are starting to buy up Bitcoin. The U.S. is talking about a Bitcoin strategic reserve. You also have a much more friendly regulatory environment that's coming in 2025. And on top of that, you have corporations that are buying lots of Bitcoin as well. And so when you look at those tailwinds, that's obviously a boom, and people get nervous whenever there's a price drawdown. But if you go back to the last two bull markets, we saw 13 different times that there was a drawdown of 10% or more during that Bitcoin bull market. And so this is very normal. People should not get worried. And I continue to think that Bitcoin will do very well in 2025.
I got 20 seconds. Is the current pullback a buying opportunity in your mind?
Every time that Bitcoin has drawn down and you've bought it and you held till about this time, it's been very good. And so I think that people who continue to dollar cost average into a finite asset like Bitcoin will do very well in the future.
100%. So you guys heard it directly from the clips there from Fox News. And biggest thing you have to realize is this a good time to purchase Bitcoin? And in my opinion, it's absolutely. We've obviously gone through a little bit of a bull run there, but just like you said, every time you purchase Bitcoin at somewhat of a dip or where there's got that support line like we're seeing here, some good consolidation, especially if we're looking over the 3-month chart here. Quite a bit of a support line here, and then it went up. Nice resistance line. And then it fell back to a nice support line of 92, 93,000. So in that range. So you can see over the past year, looking back on it, some really, really good support at the 61,000 level before it went up to the 93,000 level. Obviously peaking around 106,000 before having a correction, including today coming down to about $94,000. So you're able to see, okay, at this point, correction, quite a bit of a dip here, some consolidation, some sideways momentum, a little bit of upwards, a little bit of downwards, but buying these dips and consolidating your funds so then you can long-term hold this over the next 3-4 years and make some great income. This is something where even just over the next year, 2.5xing your investment is huge. Putting in 100 grand, it becoming 250, or putting in $500,000, it becoming, or I don't know the math. Wait, what's the math on that? Putting in $500,000, becoming $1.2, $1.3 million after only a year is absolutely amazing. That's an amazing long-term buy and hold, especially we're just talking over the next year. What he refers to by when we're looking back, if we pull up the 5-year chart, so we can see over the years, obviously some the highs here, 66,000, a lot of hype, a lot of mainstream pushing of crypto, especially after COVID-19, little pandemic, or after the pandemic, we saw some consolidating around the $10,000 price range, which is crazy, guys. I mean, look at this. Every time you purchase the dip, it's a crazy run up, consolidating. And so you can see over the years, it doesn't matter which dip you'd have purchased, you're still up big. And so really hitting that point where you're understanding, okay, that fear, that momentum is still consolidating. And then if we pull back up the day chart, if we pull back up the week chart here, big run up here, big run up. And then going into this week, some very, very nice consolidating of the funds. So jumping into those sideways momentum trades and just earning money. Guys, I want you to earn lots of money in this. This is why I make these videos. I want you guys to earn lots and lots of money, especially over the next year, 2 years. This could be the difference between you retiring early, you living a completely different life, and going on nicer vacations, purchasing nicer things, just by investing in this currently. Nations are behind it. Companies are behind it, massive companies. And so you are able to get in this before it's absolutely bonkers and at a price of 13 million, like some analysts say. So with that being said, I think a realistic price target by the end of 2025, realistically, we could see 200 to 225 in that range. I think that'd be absolutely amazing. Potentially up to 250 price target, but hitting that point where you are investing at the 94,000, if it keeps dipping, if there keeps being some corrections in the market, then obviously just dollar cost averaging your position. And even while it's going up, dollar cost averaging. We're not trying to time the market exactly, but we can see based on our charting and analysis, it's a fantastic time to obviously consolidate your funds and make some great money with this. But if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure that you subscribe. Click the like button, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.